wishing you all a happy new moon. The ring of fire. It is upon us again, another eclipse, absolutely. So I wanted to give a bit of energy feedback on this because I've been reading so many amazing posts from people and the downloads about this moon and all the rest of it. And I have a very, very specific message as what my experience is from it and the downloads I've been getting. So I'm going to add to all of that magic. So I'm going to dive straight in with this. Yes, we have all been stretched beyond belief since, as if we didn't think last year or the year prior to that was enough. Like, we have been stretched beyond belief. And there's still more. There's still more, because let's face it, when we give birth, not that you guys will know, but those that had children, when you give birth and you're squeezing a melon out of a needle pin hole, it's sore. It's really sore. But let me tell you, what it is that you're pushing out into the world is amazing and life-changing and just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that's kind of where we're at. We're at that melon stage. So I want to talk about the full moon because that's going to lead me into this new moon. So this is where I just started to feel that everybody's experiences are very, very unique and individual. Usually with my experience on full moons and those kind of shifts and changes, we're all kind of going through the same tone of things, but we've all been popping like popcorn at different times. In different ways. And I feel that now we've got to the point where the experience is very, very much unique to the person. And we're all being triggered. I'm going to use the word triggered to face our stuff that prevents us from being in the fullness of who we are. So, for example, this year, which was actually brought up in an astrology reading for me, I was told last year that this year for me is going to be the year of no, because I say yes to everything. So it's a boundary issue, which is basically, as I said before, what I'm working on personally myself. So having boundaries, saying no, giving love to me and making sure I'm okay and having big experiences and challenges in that from the shadow to the light. That experience that I go through, I effectively am working on for all of you, okay? And I'm putting it into the grid work. So somebody might be working on just loss of money and just, having a terrible time with it to do with abundance. But the thing is, you're going through it because you're actually collapsing all of these belief systems and timelines, which have to be played out negatively for you to go to the opposite side, which is the light, to then step into the flow of abundance rather than the loss of abundance. So so you're putting that into the grid work for me and the rest of us. Thank you. So I like to say that every time to bring this into perspective as to how unique our journeys are and why, and that it's not just about us, it's for all. And this is what brings us that team energy that's going on. So this is why it's really, really important to remind yourself of what the fullness of the experience is all about. So I've got a list here because actually since we've been moving through the full moon, going back to that, everybody kind of went through their normal purges on the full moon, 3 days prior, whatever. I went into it, I never came out of it. And I was looking at everybody else who's saying, I'm amazing, it's wonderful. And I was like, I'm dying. This is not cool. And then I started to think, why is everybody else in the playground? And why am I stuck indoors on detention? This is awful. And then I came online. My stuff came online. But it took focused awareness for me to push through that, that energy. So that was kind of like the full moon, which only feels like a moment ago, and it was an eclipse, right? So now we're coming into the new moon, which is all about new wishes. It's all about, sort of the newness, birthing, all the rest of it, So I've been working with a few peeps, a few of my soul fam, and we have been very, very, it's been put on our radar, put it that way, these spikes of, feel amazing, this is awesome. And just as you're in flow, you get slammed and then you're in the dark tunnels again and you're like, this is horrible, I want to die. And there's a frustration and like, oh, is this ever going to end kind of vibe. Well, what's actually going on there? I had a tantrum moment about that, going, oh, for God's sake, spirit, you know what I mean? Put me online now. I mean, Jesus. And I had a little bit of a tantrum. I had lots of tantrums actually. But then I kind of like worked through the energy and, understood that these are spikes and they peaks and troughs. Okay. So basically that expansion of energy is all about where you're going. So let's talk about your higher self. This is, your higher self is basically the gateway to all your guides. It's all one. The angels are your higher self. Your higher self are the gods of Egypt. It's all one. So anyway, whatever. So that's your telephone line to out there, your energetic support crew. And then you have your humanness here, okay, which is all the sludgy, heavy, dense stuff that you've been living in for so long. So these peaks come along and you step into your higher self and you connect with all that is. It's amazing and wonderful. Then you get slammed into the humanness the old way, which feels absolutely bloody awful. And sometimes, sometimes you can actually be in these highs for quite some time, or it can be periodic where you go boom, boom, but either way, what is actually happening is those peaks are the new way to come, okay? The peaks are actually the reality. That's the truth of who you are. It's the truth of your reality. It's the truth of the new earth, what everybody's calling the new earth, the highest vibration. So living your best life, right? So with that, we're kind of doing this, and it can either breed despondency and, oh my God, this is just like, why do I bother and all the rest of it? Or you can understand it in the way that I'm explaining it and going, okay, so this is a process. And this now leads me on to my first thing on my list, which is keep going, okay? And this is not a time to get caught up in the extremes. This is a time to get caught up in the understanding of what the extremes are all about, which is going to allow you to come into this place to keep going. So this place of keeping going is all about neutrality, okay? Our pendulum swing of overjoy and then full-on depression, that's even overjoy is negative. It's about being in the neutral space. And I work a lot with Isis. So Isis and all of the Egyptians are my guides. Those are my peeps, And Isis was just explaining how the lower temples, and obviously, the lower parts, the lower chakras of our body is all about that sludgy stuff. And we got to get right with that, because once we work through these, lower things to do with money, survival, saying no, standing in your power, all of those more of this world vibe, then we can get to the upper chakras, which is where all the abundance and the flow and the magic and the stars is. But we can't do it through a place of pendulum swinging, like extremes getting slammed and then everything's amazing. We've got to find that sweet spot, which is neutral. And when you're in that neutral spot, that means you've transmuted everything kind of into balance there and there. You cannot create your own reality until you have come to neutrality, okay? You cannot claim that until, like your new world, until you've done this, okay? So that's where you're at. So these pendulum swings is exactly that. And they're going to be really extreme, and then they're going to start to do this. And then they're going to start to do this. And then you're going to go to here. That kind of energy and pendulum swing is all to do with the solar plexus, your seat of will, your seat of power, okay? So this is basically where you feel everything out in the world. And it's the one that makes you feel sick when everything's shit and you're nervous. That's got to clear out. So that energy of swinging like that is very much connected to the solar plexus. And even as I speak about it, I can feel it, So that's where we are, So I'll give you an example. I was talking to my son in the UK who's playing some cricket. He's on contract out there. And I was working with him to do with this energy because, as far as his performance goes, he's felt that it could be better. And he was feeling despondent. So now when we started to kind of work with the fact of hey, it's not about the scoring of runs and what's etched up on the board there. It's about the focused awareness of what this is all about, of being in your joy state, being in your highest expression, whether you've got a cricket bat in your hand, whether I'm sat here blogging and working with humanity to help the world, or whether you're running a business, or whether you're running a bank, a banking branch, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's about being in that focused awareness of your joy state, neutrality. All of this is irrelevant. So if he was to focus on the cricket runs and just go that route there, he's distracted because he's not here. If you're focused on get money, try not to fail in my business, go, 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 you're out there in panic vibes, you're not here. And you're not going to win. So all of these are just kind of reflections of this here. Okay, this isn't the still point. This isn't the core. This is the core. And you can't achieve everything that you're trying to achieve in that neutrality to kind of come to this higher, more high vibrational space until you've understood that it comes from here. Neutral, neutral, neutral. Distractions come from, oh, hey, I'm going to chase that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to work 10 hours more than I should do to make sure it happens. No, you're not going to win like that. You know what I mean? Because that is running from fear. That's backed from fear. Trying to do well in a cricket game and basically, make sure that you're not dropped from the team or whatever it might be comes from fear. But if you get rid of all of that and you come in here and you start to understand that place of neutrality, all that you need to know is joy. Joy focused awareness, and I'm taking now, keep your eye on the prize. Do not deviate. Even if stuff's falling away, don't be like, oh my God, that's going wrong. No, come back here. Because that's going wrong because you're transmuting it. Let it fall. I've said it in another video, let it die. And this is what the moon's bringing to us because we're coming back here. And when we come back here, so I'm giving you the process, how it unfolds. When we come back here and we come to this joy space and we understand this is where it all is, okay? When we've got that going on, then we can actually expand into creation and feel the energy of just like creating things and the fun of it, no matter how you're going to apply that. And when you're in that joy creation codes, you are in the codes of this new moon eclipse. You are in the codes of the new earth. You are in the codes of your higher self. You are starting to tap into those higher chakras. And the more that and this is where it's really important, because this is like real practical spiritual stuff. In your day, every day, just focus, man. Just keep going. So you get knocked, carry on. Keep going. Because just now, every time you get a knock, you're like, collapsed an aspect of that negative program. Every time you get a knock, I've collapsed another aspect of that negative program. Understand what you're doing. Use the energy of the solar of the eclipse moon, which is all to do with the creation codes, all to do with fire as well. Fire is all about transmutation, and it's all about like burning away. But keep going forward. What you do in this moon energy right now is going to be amplified, and it's going to set the tone of where you're going to land. Okay, so it's really important. If you're going to sit here in negativity and understand that, or believe that you've got to be out here fixing this drama, that's that distraction. So you're just going to create more of that. Let it go. So you really need to understand what is playing out and why. You need to know how to drive this Lamborghini you're driving, because yes, indeed, you are a Lamborghini of the highest kind. Even bright red, if I don't mind adding to that as well. So yeah, Lamborghini, Ferrari, you are that powerful. You are that like beautiful and magnificent. That's what and who you are, okay? So keep driving that Ferrari forward. No distractions. Don't stop for anyone. It's okay, because that's love and compassion for yourself. Keep going. These creation codes that are flowing through this moon is very, very powerful. I am sat here and I can barely breathe because there's so much coming through, and I am consistently in this place. However, I did have a whoopsie yesterday, came in, sat with it, pendulum swinging like this, understood what it was all about of what I've just explained, moved through it, changed the vibration, carrying on. So the more you go with that, the less the knocks are going to be so intense and the less frequent. So it's really important to focus, keep going. Okay. Now, Isis, as I've spoken about, she's in every single one of us right now, because she is the midwife. She is the one that helps you create. She's co-creation. She's magic. She's healing. She's of the moon, funnily enough, she's of the moon. And, that's who I work with. Isis, every day. We are co-creating together because she's an aspect of me. So pull in all your guides, pull in all your aspects. Sekhmet, also another aspect of me. Fierce, man. Everyone knows me. I'm feline frequency, man. That's how I roll. But she is like the goddess of transmutation, and she protects her children fiercely. So create fiercely, love fiercely, live life fiercely, and just go forward, man, because now is the time. The time is for you. But there is some pushing. You got to keep that going, So that's it on my list. I was just going to go and check and see if I've missed anything. But I mean, in big letters, I've got written on there, stay focused, because now is not the time to get there and go, oh my God, I'm not winning. And what actually happens is you fall short of the finish line, which is right in front of your nose, but you've collapsed here. And it's like, no, it's right there. Keep going. So this is a message of hope. This is a message of courage. This is a message of belief in you. And yeah, just keep going. Just keep swimming. Like Dory says, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And look how happy she is, or was, or is. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of Nemo in their life? Do you know what I mean? So call in the Nemo codes and just keep swimming. On that note, that really weird ending note, peace and happy new moon. Sorry, I'm laughing at my own jokes now.